13 love, 13 knowledge, 13 wisdom, 13 respect. This is your creation 13. So in life, what do we prepare for, right? As the title states, we live our lives to prepare for death. Now that's an interesting one. Through my experiences, encounters, personal relationship with Christ, I've learned that there is, we don't need to prepare for death. We need to prepare for the next lesson or the next life. Christ said, don't live by the ways of the world. That means don't get trapped in the realm of the matrix. Don't get trapped or accustomed to it or bound to it, right? Where you want to continuously repeat over and over and over and over again, to the point where you just don't remember how to ascend to different forms of life, right? This world will teach you, this is it, right? This is it. If you die in the religious realm, if you die, you're either going to heaven or you're going to hell, right? An ascend or descend mindset, right? Because it's a mindset. With all this stuff I've been exploring into, researching, I'm researching Norse mythology with Odin and everything, and it really got me thinking, like, so many people focus on storytellers, and making a basic concept into an epic story, right? To keep the tradition alive, in epic proportion. And a lot of people want their lives to be of a value, an epic journey. And a lot of times people will over exaggerate to get the attention they want to make their life epic, which is very interesting. It really is. And that's kind of goes into the fake it till you make it scenario. But at the end of the day, your physical presentation is the learning experience, but it's not the end all be all, because part of the experience is the maturity, right? Because in any life that I'm aware of, any life multidimensionally, you start as a child and you ascend, right? You ascend. But like in this realm, you ascend, so you go from child to adult, but you can ascend, and then even though you're an adult, you descend, right? You devalue yourself and think that you're nothing. Like, I've been around so many people that still, even if they have Christ in their life, they have God in their life is good, they still call themselves filthy people, disgusting, things of that nature, right? They really devalue themselves because of the culture of this reality, is to devalue you so then you don't ascend or elevate, right? That should encourage you to be a better person. Like, it blows my mind. Like, it's to the point of frustration on how people devalue themselves, and that everything is taught in a descended state of being, especially with churches, right? I've been really observant a lot with religious teachers and leaders, and talked about that previous videos on how they create a epic story, a storyteller, a stage performer, to bring the agenda or the epic story to life. But they use descended tactics to captivate you, meaning that they love to promote demons and being possessed by demons, right? There is no teaching of angels and teaching you how to ascend, right? They're showing the lowest form of a human that you can possibly be, right? And there's a lot of humans that are like that, right? If someone tells you if I'm human, I say, no, I'm not. I'm not a human. I think for myself. I'm always working to ascend and elevate myself. I mature daily. I learn daily, right? And I don't follow the ways of the world, but I do choose things that are fun in the world while I'm here for the short time I'm here, right? Does that make sense? I hope so. It does to me. So, that's where you learn to master the reality. And there's manifestations that we can learn. There's alchemy that we can learn. But the basic foundation, to keep it simple, is learning how to become someone beautiful in a world that tries to tell you that you're weak and you're a descending being, and you're not. You never were, right? We may be born as we descend, because when we're in the mother's womb, this gets deep stuff, like I'm working on this stuff, but when we're in the mother's womb, we are upside down. So we come into this world in the descending pose, right? Where we are descending. We're going into the upside down world. Oh man, think about that. So when we're in the mother's womb, if you turn correctly, getting ready to be born, you descend and turn where you're upside down. So therefore, this reality would be the upside down world. That's interesting. That's just something I just thought about. And everything is upside down. Everything is reversed, right? They don't want to teach you about the ascending process, how to elevate yourself, right? That's what Christ was all about. Christ said he only listens to the Father. He goes within himself. He found peace within himself, and he was teaching people how to heal themselves. He wasn't teaching people about promoting lower ways of life. He was there to assist you in ascending out of the descending process. Whether you were a prostitute, a drunk, homeless, whatever it was, that's when Christ showed up the most. He hated the churches. You read through Matthew. Hated the churches, right? And the churches don't teach you that, right? They wouldn't have something to go by if they got rid of their foundation. And the church, the body of Christ, right, is your body, and you're learning to ascend. You have to elevate yourself, but as you're elevating and maturing, you got to be teaching people just like Christ did. You ascend, you teach the descending. You ascend, you teach the descending people how to ascend as well, right? Life is continuous. Life can repeat over and over again. I experienced deja vu. Does that mean that I've experienced this over and over again? Maybe. I feel like this is my first time, but maybe not. It's hard to say. But I have learned right now, I can say, I have learned so much about life to where I've matured in a way I never thought I could. I'm able to help people if they're willing to listen and learn. And I'm ready to continue to assist beyond this realm, whether it be spirits ascending, descending, being a guardian or a protector, whatever it is, right? I'm ready for that next experience. But there's still challenges every day. I'm learning about emotions now, right? Fear has been the biggest one. And I know Christ has me on this path for a reason, because I feel that fear is the ultimate deception. This is what Christ is telling me right now. Fear is the ultimate deception to trap people into a descending state of being so they continue to be manipulated and distorted through time and space. And you can rewind that if you can. That's just what Christ told me just now. And thinking about that, that should really help you begin to evaluate your life. Are you ascending in your life? Are you putting value on your life? Do you have enough value and maturity to help others as well, right? As well as helping yourself and healing yourself. It's people don't like responsibility. 100%. People do not like responsibility. Every time they hear that word or feel that word, they don't like it because they feel their life is limited, right? And that's where you learn how to master things in your life. So you're not limited, you're ascending, but you're also taking responsibilities. I mean, how do you think some rich people and people who build businesses do, right? They create sacrifices and risks to ascend in life, right? And a big part of that is maturity. You got to know what you're doing, right? They obviously have matured enough to take those risks and chances to ascend in this realm to where they want to be, right? And stuff like that, it's very hard for me, but you got to also realize that there's a story being told here in life. And what kind of story that is, it's hard to say, because, I question things from time to time on, am I where I'm supposed to be at? Am I where I'm supposed to be to where I am ascending to where I need to be? And the answer is yes. Yes. Everything that I've learned, continue to learn, experience even today, is part of the ascending process for me, right? For me. And each person is that way, right? And to close this out, like we talked about, we are preparing ourselves for death, but we're not dying. We're just preparing ourselves for the next life. Don't fall for the stories, right? Don't look for the saviors outside yourself. The savior is yourself, the mature you. You are seeking out the mature you. Can you do that? Are you scared? Do you know how? Right? These are questions you have to ask yourself, right? I had to experience it myself, but I've always been that observing, deep thinker, always looking at trying to figure out what the world is, knowing deep in my heart, even when I was a child, that there was some kind of matrix structure, a game that was playing out. And I was always seeking for answers in the Bible, because I always studied the Bible a lot. I studied the Bible a lot more when I was a child than I do now. I'm deep studying words in the Bible, but I definitely studied the Bible a lot more when I was a child than I did today. But life happened. Challenges happen. You descend and ascend, descend and ascend. You could be in a descending process for 10 years until you learn to ascend out of that. So it's always self-evaluating yourself, just like in a job. Every year you get self-evaluations to see where you're at. Have you improved? Have you matured? Things of that nature. Do that for yourself. Learn how to do that. I definitely probably should make a little video tutorial on how to do that, because in my mind it's simple, but talking with other people, it's very hard, complex, and there's a lot of things that people struggle with, that they can't get out of that descending process, right? Yeah, I could go on and on. So improve your life. Maturity is key. Just as a child, you're learning on how to ascend as an adult. But don't get stuck when you're an adult into the descending process. You want to continue to ascend and improve your life, right? And to make a goal for that improving in your life and maturity is to have the instinct and the nature to help others, right? That should always be the goal, is to mature your life so you can help others. And that's pretty much like that's what life is, is helping people. I really do feel that this earth is such a weird borderline between the descending ascending process, that we can help spirits ascend. When they're stuck, we can help them ascend. We're their lifeline to help them to the next level. So again, I could talk forever. So hopefully you got something from this. Love yourself. Keep shining bright. Maturity is key. Just keep ascending. Don't follow the ways of the world. There's so much descending values here. We got to learn about the ascending values. Learning how to talk to the higher ascending masters at the end of the day. Love yourself. Keep shining bright. I'll talk to you all later.